colors. If no words of mine will change your attitude, then you're above all hope, my hope. But 3 days later, Harry Boland was fatally shot by Michael Collins' soldiers. And as he died, he simply said, "Bury me beside Carl Brewer." It was, as Collins had once said, like a Greek tragedy, but worse. This was a terrible reality. Michael Collins thought of his youth and said, "Ah, I was young then and nice, and now I am old and not so nice." He was 32 years old. He said, "I'd send a wreath, only I suppose they'd return it torn up." And then the big man, the big fella, Michael Collins, wept unrestrainedly. On August the 12th, Arthur Griffith, unbending man of freedom and gentle courtesy, suddenly died. Irish brother killing Irish brother because of some face-saving English stipulation was more than his being could take. Now at the funeral, Michael Collins walked as the head of government as well as commander-in-chief of the army. The great crowds who watched were shocked at the grim change of his demeanor. Afterwards, he announced that he would make a tour of inspection of his army garrisons. This, of course, meant traveling amidst the conflict. He said to a friend, "I'm going to try and bring the boys around," adding as if it were a game, "If not, I shall have to get rough with them." That was the Irish Civil War. An old friend, Joe O'Reilly, who loved Michael Collins, saw him waiting for his armored car. Michael wore a small green kit bag over his back. His head was bent in gloomy meditation. I'd never seen him so tragically dejected, letting himself fall slack in the loneliness and silence of the summer's morning. On August the 22nd, 1922, he had reached his home county, Cork. As he left his hotel at 10 minutes past 6 in the morning, he remarked to a friend, Joe Dolan, "I believe Dev's knocking around this area," meaning Eamon de Valera. First, there was a motorcyclist scout, then a tender with 2 officers, 8 riflemen, and 2 machine guns, then a touring car with General Michael Collins, Major General Dalton and 2 men, and finally a Rolls-Royce armored car with 2 men. Their journey took them to Collins' home village, Sam's Cross. He pointed out the ruins of his home cottage, destroyed by Major Percival and his soldiers of Essex. At Sam's Cross, members of his family came out to talk to him. A cousin who was landlord of this inn, the Four Alls, gave every man a drink of the local stout. This is the same Jeremiah Collins today. Michael O'Brien, first cousin to Michael Collins, was there and was exactly Michael Collins' age. Today, he is 82 years old. Liam Collins. Then a 3-year-old nephew was there. Mrs. Mary O'Hay, first cousin of Michael Collins, was there, and as the convoy moved away, Michael Collins waved and said, "Goodbye, Mary," and then added, "Well, no man will kill me in this, my part of Ireland." The convoy drove off and came to this valley called Vale na Blá, which means Pass of the Flowers. The valley was gloomy, and someone saw Michael Collins instinctively lift a rifle onto his lap. They came to this blind corner, and suddenly in front of them across the road, a four-wheeled brewer's dray. Immediately, machine guns opened fire on the convoy. The commander of the convoy, Major General Dalton, shouted, "Drive like hell!" And Michael Collins, head of the Irish government, commander-in-chief of the army, replied, "Get out and fight!" And he fought on this road, on this spot, with a rifle. The battle raged, and suddenly the firing ceased. Michael Collins stood up, reloaded his rifle, and looked around. There was a single shot, and the leader of Ireland was pierced through the head and died instantly. The local priest, Father O'Sullivan, came to this awful place, and here on this roadway, illuminated by the armored car's headlights, performed his solemn duty. Here in Kilmainham Prison, Dublin, there were over 1,000 Irish anti-treaty prisoners, all captured by Michael Collins' soldiers. Amongst those prisoners was Commandant General Tom Barry. He described what happened when the news reached this prison that the enemy leader, Michael Collins, who had captured them all, was dead. There was a sudden heavy silence throughout the jail. It continued for 10 minutes. Then from this corridor, outside this top tier of cells, I heard a great murmur. I looked down onto an extraordinary spectacle. There below me were about 1,000 kneeling Republican prisoners, spontaneously speaking the rosary aloud for the repose of the soul of the dead Michael Collins. They brought his body to this city hall where it lay in state. Thousands of weeping people paid their homage. The body was taken to the Pro Cathedral. The body was taken down O'Connell Street, where the flower sellers placed their flowers on his coffin. The cortege was 3 miles long. And then here to Glasnevin Cemetery to be buried. George Bernard Shaw wrote a letter to Michael Collins' sister. "My dear Miss Collins, don't let them make you miserable about it. How could a born soldier die better than at the victorious end of a good fight? Fall into the shot of another Irishman, a damn fool, but all the same an Irishman who thought he was fighting for Ireland. I rejoice in Michael's memory and will not be so disloyal to it as to snivel over his valiant death. So tear up your mourning and hang up your brightest colors in his honor. And let us all praise God that he had not to die in a snuffy bed of a trumpery cough, weakened by age. Sincerely, Bernard Shaw, 24th of August, 1922.